We Have Concerns is made possible entirely through donations from listeners like you. A little can go a long way. Visit patreon.com/wehaveconcerns to lend your support.
When you think of you,
Yeah.
in terms of where is Jeff inside of your body?
In my head.
Yeah.
My face mostly.
Like right behind your eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Jeff is.
Is that not how you feel?
No, I think a lot of people feel the same way. Although they've done some things in other cultures where people say that it's kind of like in your solar plexus or in your whatever. But I don't know. And I think when you ask people like what kind of makes them right now, like most people say their brain.
Yeah.
Like they're their brain. And that's what they are.
I was thinking about this recently.
Yeah. Welcome to We Have Concerns, by the way. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hey, Anthony Carboni. Yeah, I was thinking about this. My nervous system treats me like an idiot. I'm being completely serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit my foot on something, and I kicked the bed walking by it.
Yeah.
And my nervous system goes, pain!
Yeah.
Just don't do that!
And it's like, dude, I didn't mean to do that. Come on.
It's the most base, unsophisticated way of communicating to me that I shouldn't be doing. It's like whacking the dog on the snout for doing something wrong. It is, and my whole nervous system treats me that way. It is always telling me, you're an idiot, don't do that. And I'm like, there really could be a more sophisticated way for our bodies to tell us what kind of behavior is best for it.
Some sort of calm messaging system. Something with a little more etiquette.
Right.
And a little more respect.
Why did we not evolve? I get when you're a baby and you touch a hot surface and it burns your hand. Yeah, okay. Baby needs to understand that in some way. But why, as we mature and grow, our bodies go through so many changes. Why did we not evolve to have a more sophisticated internal communication system?
I don't know. That's really funny. I've never thought about it like that. That's awesome.
Like you close the car door on your hand?
Yeah.
I know that is detrimental to my evolutionary progression. I know I'm not supposed to cut or hurt myself. Yeah. But my body doesn't need to treat me like a moron.
Yeah, like swell up, that's fine. Bruise, that's fine. But like...
No, that's you working on healing. I get that.
Maybe we just don't need all of the searing pain to remind us that we should be being careful. Like I could go with a little less searing pain.
Yes.
Overall.
I get it. I will be more careful.
It's funny. Like people think about that and it's always like, I hit my hand. You know, or I cut my...
Because I am different than hands.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. But what's funny is, like, the more we find out about what we are, the more we find seemingly innocuous or seemingly actually negative things that contribute so much more to who we are than we ever thought. Have you been reading at all about microbiome research?
Not as much as you, it sounds like. Tell me more.
So the microbiome is kind of the bacteria that covers your body.
Right.
And is inside your body and is all over your body. And
I do shower.
Sure, you do, and you're covered in bacteria. Sorry.
But it's beneficial. It's the natural ecosystem that we live in and is required for us to live.
Yeah, for sure. And there are 10 times more bacteria than you are cells.
You're 10 times more bacteria than you are cells.
Your mom is 10 times more bacteria than she is. So she is. And she's a lovely, lovely woman. And I will not have you talk about her.
I will not have you denigrate her biome.
But they're trying to
Your mom's biome is so big.
Whoa. Take it down a notch. We all got to stay friends. No, but they're finding out more and more about all of this bacteria because we know that it helps us digest things. We know that it helps. But the more they find, the more they figure out that this biome could be controlling our emotions.
What?
Could be part of why we have the personality we have. It could have
something to do. Blame my biome.
Yeah. Well, it could have something to do with mental illness. It could have something to do with... And what's crazy is your biome is changing because if you live with somebody, you share bacteria with them. If you have a dog, you share bacteria with the dog.
Whoa.
Depending on what part of the world you live in, there are different bacteria. You may be a healthier, saner person in a different part of the world for all kinds of different reasons, and one of them could just be that there are different bacteria there. They don't know. They're just starting to study this.
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
So if you're welcoming someone into your life, not even in a romantic way, not even a life partner, if you're just getting a roommate, if you're just the guy who answered the Craigslist ad, he's bringing an entire ecology with him.
He may be bringing his crazy in the form of bacteria that's going to spread to you.
Measurable crazy.
Yeah.
Crawling all over his
all
skin.
Over him, man. Millions and millions of tiny, crazy microbes.
They're going to get on you, too.
Oh, boy. You're going to get a lot of that crazy. But one of the things...
That's going to change my ad, man. My Craigslist ad's going to be like, looking for calm, serene biome.
Yeah. Please send along a cotton swab of saliva and also a skin sample, because that makes you the sane one. If you ask
right.
that.
I'm sure no one.
You're just guarding against the crazies. No, man, I'm not crazy. I'm just trying to keep them out of my apartment. So, but as they find more and more things that that your microbiome helps, they just found that they can remove the peanut allergy in mice by changing their gut bacteria.
Wait, mice are allergic to peanuts too?
I think we mostly make them allergic to peanuts in a lab.
That's messed up of us.
I don't know how many mice. I don't think that they put out a call for lab mice that are allergic to peanuts. I think they make them violently allergic to peanuts. Anytime you read something about lab mice where it's like, they took lab mice that had cancer, you're like, oh, that's so sweet. No, first they gave lab mice cancer. That's what you should know whenever you read something like that. Yeah. They're not like, oh, well, we'll just help out the lab mice that have cancer first.
Yeah, let's find the ones that were born with the...
We're going to take 6 to 8 months to find all the lab mice...
leukemia mice.
...that have leukemia, and we're gonna help them out.
Yeah.
Because we're science.
Let's try. We owe it to ourselves to try.
Yeah. So if you know a mouse that's suffering...
Larry, we could just... give the mice leukemia.
You fucking monster!
Well, I'm just saying, it's a shortcut process.
Why would we do that? We're trying to cure it.
Exactly. And we need to cure it, so they need to have it.
But there are plenty of mice out there that have it. We just need to figure out a way to communicate with them.
Right.
Let them know what leukemia is and let them know the warning signs so they know that they have it. And then you're right. Fuck it. Let's just give a bunch of mice leukemia. I'm sorry. At a certain point, I got to let this go.
Yeah.
So what they did is they gave these mice violent peanut allergies. And then they injected a specific type of bacteria, which is a very common type of bacteria, into their gut and their mouth.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, they just didn't have peanut allergies anymore.
Whoa.
Because what happened was...
the bacteria reduced the allergy? How does that work?
So the allergy doesn't start until particles of this stuff gets into your blood, into your bloodstream. So basically, this bacteria inside somebody's gut caused their gut to make more of a particular substance that lines the stomach lining so it's not as permeable. Right now, your stomach lining, when you eat, certain fluids and particles of things can get in and out. It's a soft barrier.
Right.
But this makes it a more solid barrier. Fewer particles of peanut get into the blood, and all of a sudden, you're not suffering from peanut allergy.
Well, is that because they're preventing the peanut from reaching your blood, or is it actually that's what's causing the allergy in the first place?
It's preventing the peanut from reaching your blood, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is amazing. So, theoretically, we could just swap out our microbiome and mess with our body chemistry in a very real way.
In an extremely real way. To the extent that people are doing, if they have colitis or Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, they say that if you take the feces from a healthy member of your family...
I'm with you already.
...and place it inside of you, a fecal transplant, actually get rid of a lot of the bacterial cause of Crohn's disease. And after a while, it could just go away, or at least minimize.
How long do I have to be putting the poop inside me?
consistently 24 hours a day for 3 to 4 years. No, it's...
I'll take the Crohn's disease.
You just have to be hooked up to the poop tube for like 3 to 4 years. It's going to be a little weird at first because you're used to it going out instead of coming in.
Oh, I am.
But you know what? Eventually you may grow to like it. This is something where they do it as needed. And it's a experimental procedure right now.
Is this the only way to get the microbiome in me? Or can I mean, I envision it more like when I was a kid and my mom told me to play with the kid with chicken pox.
Right.
Just frolic, just roll in the grass with the kid with chicken pox because we need to get... So maybe that's how we can exchange biomes, is I can just like wrestle with somebody for a while. Just some
play wrestle?
Just some real hetero man wrestling.
Well, I mean, in the case of the Crohn's, unfortunately... I think it's just the fecal transplant.
Oh,
they're even coming up with synthetic feces with specific microbiomes.
Who's making synthetic feces?
It's a growing industry.
This is not research we need to be doing.
You could, listen, your father and I have talked about it.
I don't want synthetic feces.
No, listen, rock star is not a career. We're not going to let you go to school to study music. You got to have a trade. I read online that synthetic feces is a big industry.
What am I going to even major in?
Listen.
Poop studies?
My friend that I went to college with runs the poop factory. Just shadow him for a couple weeks. See if you don't like it. Maybe you enjoy making poop.
I don't want to go. I don't want to have to tell my friends I work at the dump.
Not the dump, the poop factory. You have to call it the poop factory. Right. We don't want people to think that you're a sanitation worker.
I don't want them to think I'm a sanitation worker, but that's not very far off. How can I ever...
How dare you? This is a growing medical research field. I went out of my way. I haven't seen this guy since college.
Listen,
he is very successful. He has 2 Pontiac Aztecs.
Listen, I enjoy riding around in the Aztec, and I enjoy getting out of the Aztec and getting into the other Aztec and riding around in that second Aztec. Nobody is arguing with
Don't you want to live that life?
I would love to live that life, but I want to be in an industry where I can reach number 1 and not just stick with number 2.
That's your dad joke. And I can't believe that you put it into an improv bit.
That's how I'm doing it. Trojan horse.
How dare you?
I get 1 an episode.
Those were sacred, god damn it. Not while we're in character, you son of a bitch.
Not while we're in character. You know what that was? That was me taking my poop and inserting it into you. That's what that was.
It was a fecal joke transplant.
It was working on so many levels.
You son of a bitch. How dare you? I had my biome sequenced. You can do that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a company called Biome, and it's kind of, like when you do 23andMe.
Yeah.
You do the same thing, except you send them like a swab from your mouth.
Yeah.
And a swab from like right after you go number 2.
Yeah?
Yeah. And
you swab it?
Yeah, you swab it and you send it, you swab the toilet paper.
Oh.
And you send it into them because that's the only way to get the stomach bacteria. That's the only way they know. And then they sequence your microbiome and you can see it. And they don't know tons about it yet. Like, that's what's crazy. Is I was like,
they're still taking the poop that you send them, but they don't know much about it.
They just have like a room full of cataloged and numbered poop. And eventually, the idea is that we'll learn something from it.
Why did I take the time to swab the used toilet paper?
Listen, we got your sample. This is Dave at the lab.
Oh, thanks, Dave. I'm so glad you called. I'm so excited to find out.
We need more.
More.
Just could you just send more poop?
You want me to send you more of my poop?
Yeah, could you just
I've sent you 3 shipments of poop already.
Yeah, I know, and we feel real bad about it. But like, could you just send like 3 more for just like science reasons?
You can tell me nothing yet, and I don't.
Like, dude, we're working really hard, and we learned a lot of things. Like, we learned a lot about the different types of bacteria and that they're in there.
Yeah, well, tell me anything about me that would be useful, that would really kind of reward the effort that I've taken in giving you all of that poop.
I can tell you this. We can tell that you're a real nice and cooperative guy. That's what we know, buddy, because you keep helping us out. Why don't you just send it three more vials of poop, and I can just put it...
It is not a pleasant process of giving you...
put it on my shelf with all the other catalog poop.
Do you know how difficult it is to poop into a vial?
Can I tell you something?
Yes, please.
I never have enough. I don't know. I feel like I keep getting closer to being happy, but I feel like 3 more would really help.
You're a real weird guy,
the
Dave.
research for me.
Maybe you should just give me larger vials. It would help me and it would help you.
Would you take them?
I mean, I'm a real helpful and cooperative guy. So
if you just have a jar.
Oh man,
thanks.
That just sounds so much worse.
Yeah, they don't know what it does yet.
This is a growing research.
Well, because what they're doing now. Because here's what they're doing now. In the beginning, 23andMe didn't know a whole ton about DNA either. We had the sequenced biome. Yeah. We knew kind of what stuff went where. But one of the great things about 23andMe was they took surveys from people.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of surveys.
Right.
And then they looked at the answers and they looked at everybody's DNA and they started going, oh, correlations.
Uh-huh.
Here's what's going on. So if we could just keep sending Dave poop and answering his questions.
I mean, I guess that's the duty of every... I'm doing another...
You only get one. You only get one, you son of a bitch. How dare you? I want to find the bacteria that makes you do this to me. And I want to eradicate it from the earth.
Do my duty for
Dave. You bastard, don't you? You did it. You acted like you weren't going to do it, and then you did it. You're over your quota. We're ending the episode early.
Damn it. I don't want to end the episode. Please don't make me. It wasn't me. It was my biome.
We can end it with this. It seems weird right now. And a lot of the stuff is speculative, but a test like this test that they did on these mice.
Yeah.
These mice that they gave this horrible, horrible allergy to.
Terrible peanut allergy. Life-threatening.
Proves that this external stuff, or this stuff that we think of as external, has a lot to do with at least our physical internal workings.
I think that is amazing and creepy. I mean, to think...
Can you imagine going to a store and taking a specific probiotic that's just filled with a specific type of bacteria because I'm depressed?
We've talked a lot already in previous episodes about sort of reprogramming the brain, but it always revolves around internal messing with stuff or adding, technological components. But the idea that it's just this ecology that you're carrying around with yourself that can really reprogram your brain, that's mind-blowing to me. I mean, you talk about it takes a village. You are a village. You're walking around as this ecosystem.
It changes our view because, like we said in the beginning, I am this thing that nothing can touch behind my eyes, right? And we tend to think of ourselves, and then we think of the world as this outside place full of things that...
Right. Yeah.
Right? But that aren't us. It's separate from us, right? Like I'm me and the world is the world. But if the microbiome is as important as DNA, which a lot of scientists are getting a little overzealous this early, but beginning to say that they think it might be, that barrier is not what we thought it was. It isn't just us and the outside world.
Right.
The way we interact with the outside world is who we are on this much more fundamental level than we ever thought.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Not even a philosophical, you gotta be part of the world and be part of nature. No.
It's literal.
You literally have to.
Yeah.
That's so nuts. And I'm kind of excited to see where it goes,
It's very zen. It's very zen that you are not separated from your environment. You are your environment.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Let us know what you think about this. Because most people think it's icky.
Well, I think it's icky.
It's kind of icky, right?
But icky cool.
Icky cool. Icky cool or icky not cool? You can just tweet at us with one of the two. I'm at A Carboni.
And I'm at Jeff Canada.
And if you've seen a story that you think we would find interesting, you can send it to us at wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com.
Or stop by our Patreon at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns and post your thoughts there.